Now, I looked at a lot of cases, right? And I'm using reasonable and logical explanation to figure these things out. And so, in my mind, I'm thinking that is what most of you are doing. And frankly, that's what I was hoping that most of you are doing. But now I question that. Now I'm thinking somewhere in history, a lot of you are having problem being reasonable and logical. And it's unbelievable. I mean, it's crazy. Just the things that you are hearing from people who are supposed to be mature. I mean, I don't want to go into this area really, because it's everybody's belief, everybody's the way of seeing the world, whatever the case may be. I guess I was thinking that everyone at least have a reasonable and logical explanation of the world around them. But it seems like they don't have the understanding of the world around them, because half of you believe in religion. Religion is fine until you believe in a God. I mean, some of the stuff that people are saying, like they worship this God or they worship this or that. We are in an age where we know a lot more of things that are happening around the world than we can ever imagine we would. And still, people are still believing in some higher power. And I can understand that, sure, you might believe in a little bit, but there is some sort of common sense in the world to make you more reasonable. But that is not the case. People are just lost in their imagination or something. Let me explain to you what humans are. Humans are just another species on this planet. But the difference between you, human, and an ape is one thing. There's just one thing that is different from you and them. Is that you have the ability to imagine. This is the only reason why you are so much more greater than all the other species on this planet. Because you can imagine, you can come up with new ideas that makes you that much more incredible. But yet you're using this imagination to come up with a God that you can worship. You've been given just such power to do as you wish, to know who you are. Yet you use it to believe in somebody that does not exist. And how do I know that this God does not exist? Because scientists explain all these things to you. From your planet to your universe to everything around you. And it's like it's not enough for you. It's like you want to know the beginning of time. Do you think the great God of whoever you believe in made dust, made particle, like make simple dust, and then it became you? Like, I mean, that's how far scientists has finally unraveled the mystery of the universe for you. But yet you want more and more, as if you want the beginning of everything. Then will you ever believe that there is no God? Because you can see it in everything around you, how everything evolved. And yet, you still believe there's some sort of higher power to make all this happen. It's like if 100 years from now, someone says the iPhone was created by a god. He came on stage and he said, "Here, this is an iPhone, the smartest phone on the planet," right? And he tells you all these magical things and all these things it can do. That is what it's like for reasonable, logical scientists when they hear you talk about God. It's like they know that iPhone was not made out of thin air, out of nothingness, out of just some God that tells you, "Here, I made an iPhone." No, it was years and years of work that these people got to that point to make an iPhone. They didn't just all of a sudden made the iPhone. It was evolution that made it. And so look at everything around you. Everything around you is an evolution to come to a certain point. Right? You didn't get a car like a sports car or all these things because it just came. It started from something, from a beginning, to become that object that you see now. Your child wasn't magically brought to you. It was developed by you and whoever your partner is. That's the only way. Just like any other life. It evolved. And so you see all these things, you know all these things, and yet you still believe in some sort of God. If you want to believe in a religion, you should just change it a little bit. It's not religion that you should believe in, it's tradition. If you like some sort of tradition to keep up with wherever you came from, then do that. Traditions are great. It helps to remember the past and the people that affect us. Like if your father or your mother was kind to other people and they have a tradition of doing certain things, you follow that tradition. And that's what you should be doing. You should be worshiping your family, your friends, the people that inspire you to do greater things in this world. Not some God that never came back and tell you, "Hey, worship me and listen to me and do all this thing, and if you do bad thing, I'm going to send you to hell." Come on, people, wake up. We're not in a world where we know nothing. We know a lot of things now. And you need to wake up. And this is what I'm thinking. That you people are not awakened. you are still stuck in some magical place, and you're not using reason and logic to figure out the truth. And that's the problem. And that's why I'm trying to understand all of this, to understand why and how someone could not see that all these people are being accused of all these things, or doing these things, all these injustice. Why is it that you cannot see it? How is it possible you cannot see this? Because to me, it's pretty clear. These ladies, these females, are lying. They are lying. They are doing this because they're taking advantage of a situation. Okay, there are no bad people. There are no good people. There are only people who sometimes see a situation that they can take advantage. They will. And these ladies are seeing a situation where they can take advantage of it. Because just listen to some of the stories. I mean, you always have to go to the first one that comes out and accuse someone of something. And from there, you will know if she's lying or not. But the rest that comes out, these are just people who see an opportunity to take advantage of. That is it. But the first one is the one you should be focusing on. The rest, I am pretty confident that they are just there for the opportunity. But just listen to some of them. I mean, it's crazy. Just be reasonable and logical. One of them says he raped her. He gives her a pill and he rapes her. And she went home and they asked, why didn't you tell anybody? She goes, yeah, I told my boyfriend. And it was like, that's it. So you told your boyfriend that Bill Cosby made you give him a blowjob, and you went home and that's it? Do you understand? It's like what boyfriend hears that and say, oh, that's great, so what are you going to do tomorrow? Do you know what I mean? It's so ridiculous. And then another one, it's like they think the more horrible the situation they can describe, the better. Now these people are saying that, accusing him of doing this 20 or 10 years ago, right? And so they say he drugged them, and then they're lying there, they can't do anything, and they're crying and tears are running down their face. It was horrible, right? And yet they go home and they do nothing. Do you understand? No one in their right mind, knowing human being, can make sense of that, because either she was controlled by him in some way, which this is a one-time thing, and you know that a one-time thing, you cannot control anybody. It's like you trying to meet somebody and you harass them and then you run away. They're not going to say anything. You need to know these people, to manipulate them, to make sure that they don't tell. You can't just go to a random person and meet them one day or 2 days and somehow they fall into your spell and they will never tell on you. Do you understand? It doesn't make any logical sense. If you were gonna rape somebody and drug them, It has to be a secret. They cannot know. And if you rate them and they see your face, well, chances are you wouldn't want them to live, because they know who you are. Do you understand? None of these stories make any logical sense. They're just made up. And that's the thing. Human being got the ability to imagine, to make up things and to make up lies and all these things, and they're using it in the worst way possible to take advantage of a good man. And Bill Cosby is a good man. He is doing things in his life to make his community, his people better. He's not sitting on his ass doing crap. And now you're gonna put this man in jail because somebody says some stupid things and you believe them? They're taking advantage of a situation. They know that people will believe them because every one of us know that a man has some needs more than a woman, and they're taking advantage of that need, that the weakness that a man has, right? So they know this. The law protects them from men, from the sexual harassment and all these things likely done by men. But the things that protect them can also be taken advantage by people like these. And that's what exactly they're doing. And you people can't see that. How is it possible you can't see that? What would it take for you to be reasonable and logical? If this is as clear as anything I can see, and yet you cannot see it yourself. I read things about this case, and of course the prosecutor in this case, the first one that didn't charge Bill Cosby, he knows this is all crap. But that's the problem with this system of yours. You have people who do not care. He retired, another prosecutor came in, or something like that, and now this prosecutor decides, hey, I want to prosecute. You see what I mean? There are good prosecutor and there are bad prosecutor, or there's good detective and there's bad detective, and you need to find those good ones, the one that does not jump to conclusion, the one that does not jump to all these things. They look at reason and logic. And now let's look at religion. Half of you people in this world believe in some sort of religion. This is the problem. If half of you are, that means there's going to be a lot of people in the justice system with a lot of bias, with unreasonable logic sometimes, doing these things. And they're hurting the innocent people. They are like psychopaths that is killing and imprisoning innocent people, and you are not seeing it. You need to open your eyes and see for yourself. Do not trust what they say all the time. Look at the evidence. Look at the things that people are saying. It's so clear to me, yet you people seem to simply be unreasonable, be unlogical. What is there? How can I explain this to you? Do you want me to explain the meaning of life? Do you want me to explain what happened when you die? Do you want to know the truth? It's not hard to know the meaning of life. It's not hard to know what happened when you die. It's easy But the only reason why you people cannot see the truth is because a lot of you believe in some sort of higher spirit. And really, the meaning of life, it's really to live. And in this time in history, you have a chance to do, especially in United States, you can pretty much do anything you want. That's the gift of life. That is the meaning of life. To do anything you really want. To live a good life. That is the meaning of life. There is no higher power. There is no purpose. You make your own purpose. And when you die, you are gone. You are part of the chemical that made you in the first place. You become dust. You become the planet again. Part of all that is, like the beginning of time. There was only dust. There was only particles. The reason you are aware of your surrounding is because of your imagination. That is the only reason you are better than every other species on this planet. Do you understand? Your imagination makes you wonder about all the things in your universe, in your space, in your life. But once you're gone, I'm not trying to tell you a fairy tale. That is the truth. That is the only logical truth there is. When you die, you realize, you won't even realize, you would know nothing. It'd be empty. But you wasted your life thinking about all this heaven and hell and this God and how you should worship this human or this entity that you believe exists. What I'm trying to say is, I hope there's more reasonable and logical people in this world.